All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown. All three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Vanishing Tower by Michael Moorcock. This is book number 4 in his Elric saga. Came out in 1970. Let's talk about the cover, because you know I love graphic design and cover art. This has got a kind of a cool painting by Michael Wherein, the great illustrator. He did all of the illustrations for the books that I have here of the Elric saga. They all look like they go together, and they've got the weird yellow spines. Now, these original paperbacks, you can't really get them anymore. However, you can get the entire Elric saga in these wonderful omnibus editions that are published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Same people that published my book. So if you want to collect the series, you'll have to do it that way rather than this way. Unless you go on eBay and do it this way. But anyway, let's talk about The Vanishing Tower. So there is a map in here of our fantasy world. You know, there's a few little artistic icon things here. Then there's a map of the world we're going to be traveling through, the fantasy world. So it opens with Elric of Melnibone, and Elric is an albino swordsman. He's sort of an outcast from his community. He's traveling with a character named Moonglum, who is sort of this archer, this adventurer, this guy that's traveling, and they're traveling together, and they're off on a quest to find the evil sorcerer Thelib Carven. Or Craven, or what was it? Crana, Theven Karna, Thelib Karna. God damn it! I'll edit all that out. Thelib Karna, and just to give you an idea of who Elric of Melnibone is and his companion Moonglum. Not Moonglub, but Moonglum. Let's. I want to read a passage from the book, because this is one of the reasons I like because. Michael Moorcock has got a great writing style. I really love his prose, and whenever a character steps on scene, he does just such a great and eloquent job of describing the character and what they're wearing. And I just wanted to read a couple paragraphs here. So Elric, for his part, seemed not to notice the chill weather. His own cape flapped behind him. He wore breeks of a deep blue silk, a high-collared shirt of black silk, a steel breastplate lacquered a gleaming black, like his helmet, and embossed with patterns of delicate silver work. Behind his saddle were deep panniers, and across this was a bow and a quiver of arrows. At his side swung the huge rune sword Stormbringer, the source of his strength and his misery, and on his right hip was a long dirk presented him by Queen Yeshana of Jarkor. Moonglum, his companion, bore a similar bow and quiver. On each hip was a sword, one short and straight, the other long and curved, after the fashion of the men of Elware, his homeland. Both blades were in scabbards of beautifully worked Ilmalorian leather, embellished with stitching of scarlet and gold. Together the pair looked, to those who had not heard of them, like free traveling mercenaries who had been more successful than most in their chosen profession. I just love descriptions. I like that. I like knowing what my characters are wearing, what they're like, and he does give descriptions of their actual physical features. You know, Moonglove is his shorter guy. Elric is taller, lanky, albino with the albino white eyes, and are they red eyes? I can't remember. They might be red eyes. I can't remember what kind of eyes they are. But anyway, I love that kind of writing. It gets me right into the book, right into everything. Now, the Eternal Champion is Elric. The Eternal Champion is something that is in all of the books that are associated with Michael Moorcock. It's if you've read Stephen King and you know of the multiverse of Stephen King, Or let's say you know of the Cosmere of Brandon Sanderson, where all the books are tied together. There's a Michael Moorcock was the first guy to do this. He was the first guy to create a multiverse. And this quest that Elric and Moonglum must brave, they must go through a lot of different horrors and horrific situations. You know, they meet the creatures of chaos. They travel through frozen landscapes of forests and ice. They meet the gold-skinned Kelmian hordes, the seven-fingered god, the sighing desert they have to travel through, and the Stone Age men of Pow, and one of the worst creatures of all, Myshella, the Empress of the Dawn, the sleeping sorceress. They got to travel through all of this, and as they're traveling through all of this, we got to keep in mind the landscape that they're traveling through is ever changing. It's got time jumps, multiple universes, world hopping. It's a really like Stephen King's Dark Tower series, but Michael Moorcock did it first. I like this adventure. It was a solid from start to finish. It had a goal that they had to reach at the beginning, and they reach it at the finish line. Maybe not. You can never predict what will happen in a Michael Moorcock book. It's very grim, very gritty, very much an acid trip. Every time you enter into a different dimension or multiverse or shifting perspective of things, it throws you off. It's only 160 pages, as are most of these books. So you can read them in an afternoon. So pretty cool. But I really like this. I'm going to give The Vanishing Tower, book number 4, a solid 9.5 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic book. Fantastic series. Every fantasy fan should be at least aware of these, if not reading them.